So we're in a series called Effortless Prosperity, and all I've been talking about is peace. And I shared it the first week, and I keep saying prosperity isn't about money. Prosperity is about wealth, spiritual wealth, and it includes finances, but it has to do with an expansive viewpoint, seeing more than what we see with the physical eye. So many of our lessons over the couple of weeks has been, I see peace. Now, has that been a little difficult? What about I speak peace? Maybe a little easier. Today, our lesson is I am patient. Today, I am patient. Let's say it together. Today, I am patient. Now, that doesn't mean tomorrow, did it? It just said today. Today, I am patient. Today, I am patient. And what does patient mean to you? For me, it means I slow down. I slow down so I can listen for guidance. You might call it something else. I call it guidance, intuition, direction, prayer, support. Oh, I'm going to slow down. What is the urge in our lives is to act. So today we're talking about a little bit about the difference between respond, react, and respect. Now, often, first thing we want to do is react. If someone says something to us we don't like, we see something on television, we hear about something, price is up, I go through the car wash or the Safeway or whatever, and the price is doubled, whatever, react. I know that's not you, but it could be. I know it's not you, but it could be. Just think about it. It could be. It might be. Occasionally. Often. So how do I move from reacting to responding? I stop. Wow, doesn't that sound easy? I just stop. I allow myself to feel grounded to the divine presence within me, and I listen. Now, is this worth being reactive? Maybe not. Maybe I want to handle this differently. Maybe I want to keep my center as my guide, not my up and down. Course in Miracles calls our ego edging God out. The ego is the hand on the hip, the pointing the finger, the shaking the head, all at once. Response, react, respect. Oh, can I move into respect? I may not agree. I may not even like it. However, I can respect from the viewpoint that everyone on the planet is a spiritual being. I may not correlate with their actions. I may be uncomfortable. However, this is a spiritual being. I can respect them for that. Sometimes that just takes away those other layers, and we can just look at them and say, you're a spiritual being. I may not agree. I may not feel comfortable. Today, I am patient. I'm going to slow down and ask for guidance. How do I handle all these feelings I have? How do I support people in a way that speaks to understanding that we are one? Emerson put it this way: when we react, we are interpreting events, not just looking at events. When we react, we are interpreting events, not just looking in a neutral way. And this is big work. I mean, this is called spiritual expansion. Now, how does that tie into prosperity? Thank you for asking. It ties into prosperity because as I stop, as I'm grounded, as I take a breath, I remember who I am. I can feel centered. And when I open myself to my divine presence, I am open to the flow. I am open to the flow of love. I am open to the flow of finances. I am open to the flow of health. I am open. When I am reacting, I am closed. Well, a few. Are you listening is the question. Yes, of course. When I am reacting, I'm closed down. I'm open. When I'm stop, I listen for guidance. And sometimes it takes 5 seconds, 5 minutes, might take 5 days. You never know. You never know. Now we're going to do a little fun thing. I'm going to call up Linda and Randy. We're going to act out something to show you. Where's Bonnie? Come on. Get up front. So there's a famous writer, man, called Eswaran. You're over here, wherever you are. Stand apart. Big blackboard. Big blackboard. Randy's over here. Thank you. Is that stage left or stage right? Whatever. Okay, so this is a true story about a famous author, Eswaran, who was a friend of Gandhi, an incredible writer. I've presented many of his books through the years. And he was a professor teaching in LA to a very large class of advanced students on, guess what? Peace. So every week, he would come in. Now, this is before everything was on slides and before the computer or the phone of all of this going on. So Eswaran would come in. Now, he usually wrote on the right of the blackboard. So he would walk in, he'd look for the eraser, and are you on the right? Wait a minute. It's supposed to be on the wrong way of where okay. So you go to the right and it's not there. We didn't have time to practice, as you can tell. Okay, so it's not there. And he goes to get the eraser and it's on the other side. So he goes and gets the eraser, erases it, and he puts it back where he writes, and okay, good. Comes back the next week. Looks for his eraser, not there. Has to go over here. We're gonna puts it back where he wants it. Do you think he's getting frustrated? It's only 2 weeks. Okay, 3rd week, here he comes. Remember, it's a 12-week class. We're not doing all 12 weeks. Okay, no eraser. Off to the left. There it is. Puts it back. More frustrated. Now the weeks go on and on. The eraser, every time he comes in, is on the other side. He's begin to thinking, is anyone not paying attention to me? I want it on the right side. All right, picks it up, goes back, erases, gives it to Linda. Oh, I mean, the other side. Now, Linda.
I liked it.
She liked the eraser. Okay, so now it's week 10. Fast forward, week 10. Are we here? Week 10. Okay. He walks in, eraser, not there. He sees it over here, he gets it, he picks it up, and all of a sudden he realizes maybe there's another person who teaches here, and they right from the other side. So he finishes his class and puts it back. Not the end of the story. He comes back the next week, and guess where the eraser is? On his side. Round of applause. Thank you, thank you. We'll practice next time. So the moral of the story was, what happened? Nobody got. He stopped resisting. He thought outside of the box. He started to listen to guidance and go, now why is it always on the other side? What could be going on here? And most of the time we don't even stop to think, do we? Marianne Williamson says, when chaos begins to happen in the world, she says the same thing I do. Stop. Or I say the same thing she does. And she says, go deep. Go deep. Because in this world, billions and billions and billions of people are praying for peace. Billions and billions are going about their day, giving their kids baths, buying food, and praying for peace in their own way, or holding the vision of peace, or being at peace, slowing down, listening to their divine presence. And the question is, would you be willing to do that? Would I be willing to do that? To not let the outer affect my actions? It's always a question, isn't it? So effortless prosperity means I'm present. I'm present. Now, we have experienced effortless prosperity here in so many ways. We just heard someone is, painting company is going to come and paint our modular. So it'll be ready to rent. And the goal is by July 1st. Now, we have worked on that project for a year, cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and blessing it and doing all kinds of work. It's empty. It's ready. And we are ready to draw to us someone that is in alignment with who we are. Yes? Yes. And we are ready to receive that which is the highest and best for the renter and for us. Yes? Yes. So what is it in your life that you want to draw to you? Financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, peace of mind, looking for a new friend, a new car, a new relationship. What is it you are ready to receive? And are you willing then to be part of the change that happened here? See, we had to have a bigger picture. Over and over again, he was just thinking about himself, wasn't he? What's wrong with this picture? Why can't anybody figure out I need the eraser right here? Such a silly example. And yet, frustrating. I know you've never been frustrated. That somebody wasn't actually listening to you. Right. Even though you didn't say anything. So in that expanded vision of effortless prosperity, when I am open, it flows to me. When I am critical, when I am negative, when I am caught up in I call it chaos, you can call it a lot of things, I'm closed. And then the flow doesn't come. The flow doesn't come. And then we have our hand on our hip and say, well, why not? Because I am not following my spiritual principles. I am more than you can see. I am more than you can see. So I'm going to just end with this little bit of a story. When we realize that this is happening in nature continually, transformation, transforming. So we think of the caterpillar that has to get all gooey and messy and fall apart to become this beautiful butterfly. We think of the little bulb that goes hard into the winter, and then eventually it's a tulip or a seed that becomes the grass or the flower or whatever, the grain for us to eat. So everything goes through transformation in nature. It doesn't skip it. So why do you and I want to skip it? We just want to stay in that same old place, and we want to erase her in the same place. And in order to truly experience effortless prosperity, we have to be willing to go through transformation. And one of my favorite examples is the ugly duckling. Anyone remember that story? And I remember as a little girl, sometimes I would feel like an ugly duckling, you know, I didn't have fit in. And so I loved that story. And as you look at this, the natural world and the swan, how the ugly duckling actually is a swan. When you watch the swan, I don't know, I've been chased by a big swan once. Boy, you know, they have feet and they waddle and they're like this. But the minute they get to the water, they glide. And they're the most beautiful thing in the world, isn't it? So that, to me, is just another example in nature of being in the flow. Being in the flow. The duckling has to go through a metamorphosis, through a change, to become the swan. And the swan has to trust the first time they go in the water that they will know how to glide. Effortless prosperity is gliding. And it's a willingness to see peace, to be peace, and to live peace.